to see it. And we are going live in 3, 1. We're live.
Oh, love to be live.
Greetings, everybody, and greetings, Jordan.
Greetings, Colin.
How you doing?
How art thou? I'm wonderful.
Are you
We're
jazzed? Are you jazzed to hang out with me this week or what?
We meeting in person for the first time after like a year and a half of friendship.
After over a year of doing this this little show of ours every week, huh?
Yeah, every week. I talk to once a week. We be finding something about the graps to holler about.
Hi says hi in the comments. Barry, I love that.
Hi.
But yeah, we'll both be at full gear this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna shoot some stuff around that. We're gonna do some special things. We're gonna hang out. We'll be knotting all weekend.
We're gonna be knotting and festing.
So
not festive.
Absolutely correct.
We'll be we gotta do it once.
That is fucking
gotta be not festive.
You just gave them $1 billion idea.
Yeah, I gave it. Don't tell them just yet. Everybody, Matt and Max, you be quiet. And also, hi.
Yeah, don't tell them about Max Drummer D.
I gotta get it in writing first.
Max Drummer D is in Vegas, like the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum, baby.
Oh shit!
Come on, huge.
You find some ghosts there,
dude. I had a hell of a story. You can hear about it on Hard Lord tomorrow. Or on Thursday. You know.
We'll do
Hard Lord Tour podcast.
Sometimes on Wednesdays, sometimes on Thursdays.
It's been Thursdays for
a while.
Yeah, you know, there's some, and I guess late Wednesdays in New York it would come out. I guess I don't know how that works. We'll see. But what's really important right now is we're gonna talk about our top 10 favorite. I guess these are title changes. This was hard to word.
Yeah, title wins
just changes.
Like a person winning the belt.
Yeah,
which is essentially why we're all like why we should be watching wrestling. Yeah. Like without kayfabe or whatever, what you want is a person to win the belt.
You love a guy, and you get to see him win.
And
that's really it.
Yeah, that's the real joy. And you know, it's very funny because it is. I think it's a rarity for like a really solid title. It's hard to pull it off.
It depends on the story, and it depends on the people, not just one. And it depends on. I mean, sometimes the build they have to eat shit for a while, you know.
Yeah, totally. And
or
even
you get
especially.
Goldberg, you know?
Well, I mean, we've only had 3 years of a rival company to WWE, and you know, I think for just so long, especially with our time watching wrestling, like it's booking a feel good title win was few and far between. Mm-hmm. It was hard to put this list together because of like how few
there's kind of only there's only a couple handfuls to really choose from. Spoiler, I don't have an AEW title change on my list.
Yeah, that's fair. I put one on here, but it's kind of near the bottom.
Yeah.
But it's also it is subjective to me because a lot of these are ones I watched.
Totally.
Sometimes I had to put the ones that I saw watching them live because otherwise it's just a guy telling you the result. I go back and I watch the title.
That's very. I mean, honestly, that's a huge part of it. But I did the same. So this is all things I either saw live or weren't spoiled for me.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of. There's a few on here where I knew what happened
and still,
but the impact still hits the same.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. All right. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Kota Ibushi, Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh,
because it's like you knew it had to happen. And it finally happened after wanting it for so long for him. and it felt like this beautiful crowning moment. And I mean, the aftermath is what it is, but he became God in that moment.
He became God. I gotta be honest. I completely forgot because what it was like right.
Yeah,
It was in the pandemic.
I think it was January 6th, 2020. Lot going on that day.
Happening.
Busy day. So
busy day. It got overshadowed in my mind. I think also because, like, in my mind, I'm like, they should have given it to him a years earlier.
The second
like,
Kenny was out of there, it should have been in his hands. Kenny
What
should have
the
lost
fuck?
it to him.
Absolutely he should have.
From there.
And then they goofed it, and then they did the whole G1 double title, like combining the titles,
Exhausting.
and it wasn't him.
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was
How
exhausting.
the fuck?
I don't know.
Like I love Night. We all love Naito, but he's had both of those belts before.
And you know, and we're seeing it from the lens of the American fan.
Right.
You know, and I know that some like Naito is fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in New Japan. So that like what we want and what the Japanese audience wants are two different things. But yeah, I mean, you got to look at it objectively. That like Ibushi's been busting his ass and his neck for so long. His best friend leaves, who was the most over guy ever there, or at least over international guy ever. It's time. It was time.
It was time. Like I feel like, yeah, everybody loves Naito over there, but they also love Ibushi. Like women love Ibushi.
I mean, he's so sexy.
Beautiful.
You know?
Birdseed teeth aside.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful man.
Yeah, they're still there. I mean, those are charming. So
absolutely. Yeah.
It is what it is.
So incredible choice.
What's your number 10?
My number 10 is the first title change. I feel is the first title change I ever saw, actually, which was the Seth Rollins WrestleMania 31 cash-in.
Oh, the cash-in was so good.
Unbelievable. I'm putting it at the bottom because it's a cash-in kind of thing, but this felt insane.
It was this at the end of this WrestleMania, you went, man, this was a really good WrestleMania. And it was kind of just that moment solidified it.
Yeah.
And they planted the seed all year. But Michael Cole kept saying all year, the Money in the Bank has never been cashed in at WrestleMania.
Incredible stuff.
So good.
They apparently didn't even know that they weren't even decided if they were going to do it.
I don't buy that
until
for a second.
I also kind of don't buy it. But fun lore.
It's so good. It's such an incredible moment.
It's an unbelievable moment. He deserved it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. On my list, I feel like each of these people like fucking earned the shit.
100% agree.
Yeah. I feel this is the best cash in ever. I've heard people talk about how they should like retire Money in the Bank because of the inability to top this.
I mean, it's been like awful since kind of.
They give it. I feel like the only person who was like a fun Money in the Bank person after Seth is Big E.
Yeah,
Big E. Everybody else is just no.
It's gotta be like, and it sucks to say, but the Money in the Bank, the best thing about Money in the Bank, it only really works the way it's supposed to on a heel,
right?
Which then makes the win kind of exhausting to see. Like, and when a chicken shit heel wins in a chicken shit way, it's gonna lead to an awesome moment eventually, but it's kind of fucking nauseating until then. When you get the big babyface win, they gotta cash it in that night or within like a week or two, or it's like, okay, this is not gonna end well. Clearly,
a runner-up for my list was Rob Van Dam with the Money in the Bank. At like challenging Cena, letting him know that he's going to do it. And they did it at the ECW pay-per-view.
Jordan. My number 9 Rob Van Dam at ECW One Night Stand. What a
Oh my
segue.
God. Wild stuff.
This was
Folks.
like, dude, this felt like the culmination of my childhood, kind of.
Right.
And it was like the crowning of this guy that my whole generation knew could be world champion from day one.
Totally.
Beating the guy.
Rock.
And it felt like everybody watching won the world title, basically.
For sure. You know, I didn't see this until I think Rob Hasbani of Knotfest,
Friend of the show.
friend of the friendship. Rob Hasbani showed me this match, and you know, I didn't have all the context when I first watched it, and I still was. It was so insane to watch how crazy that crowd is against
Legendary.
Cena. Legendary stuff, unbelievable. The reason this was a runner up for me is because of how the ending is. Edge and the biker and the biker helmet and all the extra help, like they really like needed Cena to not be able to.
He was Super Cena, man. Big Match John. It was you had to shenanigan him, or
they're like, we're gonna put him through a table, and then
strong.
Also Edge is gonna run and dress like a stupid bike. That shit sucked.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Agreed. I mean, there's never been really anything other than like singles Edge never once did anything for me. Hot take, maybe.
Fair.
Spicy take.
That could be a spicy take. I love the thing that I love from Edge is the Elimination Chamber. The losing it in the first chamber
and then cashing in. That was the first cash in.
Oh no, I meant like cash-ins aside, he is the WWF champion.
Right,
he goes into one chamber, loses immediately, and then sneaks
wins
into
the world
later
title.
One and wins the world title. I was like, fucking rocks. That's so
good stuff. I agree.
Good stuff.
Good way to switch championships and switch brands at the last minute or whatever.
Yeah, smart stuff.
What's your number 9?
My number 9, Hangman at Full Gear.
Okay.
It was just this was. I wanted to put this on here because this is the simplest wrestling story. It was a very easy, it felt correct the whole time. It was a decent match. It was just the good guy beating the bad guy at the pay-per-view.
Story-wise, it was like exactly what needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The build was amazing and several years long. The match was lacking, and compared to what
right?
I'm sure they wanted to do, but Kenny's body was fucking glass.
Yeah, he was falling the fuck apart, but he wanted to put him over, which is always that happens. That's the thing that sucks, is that eventually starts to happen when you have a long title reign on a champion. That's why Roman isn't wrestling ever right now, because he needs to not be injured when he loses.
And I feel like Kenny was injured day one in the company, so they just kind of kept him going until they knew they were gonna pump the brakes here.
Yeah, and I feel like the match lacked a little bit, but the second the Young Bucks do it,
amazing stuff,
beautiful, we all get emotional at that moment, and so the win feels
story wise, everything about it is perfect.
Right. It is to me, I'm like, all right, this is the purest, simple, anybody watching wrestling for the first time could understand what's going on. There's there isn't nuance. It's just a good
there's nuance in in the build. Build, but with the story and the match, there no nuance was required. It was very simple. Here's why these guys don't like each other. He's very good. He's a good person. He's got to win.
Yeah, done. And they were friends.
Yeah. What's better than that?
What No, honestly, 8 other things.
Agreed. My
Yeah.
number 8, Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, Monday Nitro.
Wild stuff.
Oh my God.
Wild choice. Out
Just
of left field.
right before a pay-per-view match, Hogan was reigning terror over Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
And Luger, in this shocking, unexpected match, becomes champion. The baby faces clear out of the locker room to hold him up. It was unbelievable. I will never forget this as a child. I will never, ever forget this moment.
I've literally never heard anybody talk about this as if it. I've heard people talk about this as if it was a bad decision because
it was the best.
It ruined the Sting story. I've heard this spoken of as this is the first in the dip.
No, if you're looking at it from just WCW in that era story perspective, it felt unbelievable.
I bet.
In the moment, there was nobody that was like not psyched. You know, maybe Dave Meltzer, but who fucking cares? It was like the audience, the live crowd exploded when this happened.
I've never seen it
on TV.
I've only heard about
on TV. Jordan
rocks.
WCW really only did that one other time, and it's coming right up on my list.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm. What's your number 8?
Love it. My number 8 is Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 36.
That's sweet. That's a good one.
This is, to me, this is the only time that WWE has, from the out, planned who is going to win the Royal Rumble. The fans loved that choice. They go all the way to WrestleMania. The match is good.
The match is good.
Wins. The main event it's the main event. It's the last match of the night, and the babyface wins the title. Yeah. This is the only time that the actual blueprint for the Royal Rumble has succeeded
in the modern era, for sure.
Right.
And it was the best match of the weekend. It was Bianca's best singles match. The stars really aligned. I was so stanked out on WWE and still had the best time watching this.
The second the entrances start, and honestly, having the first line of the match be like Michael Cole saying, like, this is the first time that 2 black women are fighting for a world title in the main event.
Crazy.
And like, it just leveled the tension.
Yeah. It was very special.
It was very special. And honestly, since then, Bianca, other than the SummerSlam thing, like, Bianca fucking killed it as champion. She's still champ. She's champ again and killing it. And her match quality just went up.
I'm not steady watching the show, so I can't speak to the quality of her reign. But I can't speak to the quality of. I mean, only Roman's reign do I really know anything about right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's killing
Anytime I've like watched a WWE thing and I watched the Bianca match, I'm like, oh shit, very good.
Yeah, that was like the best modern WWE match in a long time, I would say.
In a long fucking time. Well done. We'll see now if they can, without Vince, if they can do it.
They can.
More.
They can.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on with Sami Zayn, whenever that culminates, it's going to make this list, I'm sure.
Dude, he's got to be the one.
I think he's the guy.
They are.
I know. You're preaching to the chorus here.
Oh, my God. If they don't do it, it'll hurt.
It'll either be him beating Roman or him and Kev beating the Usos, which those will both be equally satisfying to me.
Mm-hmm. Him and Kev is great. Yeah. I want the world title.
Yeah, me too. It's
and
well
now's
deserved.
the time.
Yeah. My number. What?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go. What's
My
your
number 7, Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan, Monday Nitro in Atlanta, where the Falcons played. Biggest Nitro live TV attendance ever. 40,000 people or something. TV match, free TV. Goldberg goes over clean as a whistle. Legendary moment.
Incredible.
Yes.
I should have this on my list.
You should have this on your wall behind you.
I think maybe I don't. I really should.
I'm going to get the DVD and I'm going to gift it to you for the Shabbat. Okay?
for the Chanukah?
For the Chanukah. Day 1,
Yeah.
you're getting this. Okay?
on a burned DVD.
That's
just
right.
the match.
Genuinely, Matt Thompson in the comments said culture defining. He is correct. So,
You know, I watched, like, you know, I think this did make the list just because it's not, I wasn't watching the TV show at the time.
Yeah.
I've seen the moment. But in just a clip.
Hogan going up for the jackhammer, dude.
It rocks.
It's fucking legendary.
Fucking legendary. And yeah, he let, like, the fact that I didn't even know it was his hometown. That fucking rule.
Yes, in his hometown where he was on the NFL team in that town as well.
God, that fucking rules.
Yeah. So it was just like at 40,000 people who needed it to happen, and it happened.
Man.
Yeah.
That's hit.
Every now and then they did it right, you know?
Every now and then WCW did it right for as many. You know what? No, never mind. I'm not going to say that. They have more times done it wrong than done it right. But when it's right, it was fucking incredible. Agreed. Goldberg is it's got to be their best success story, right?
Goldberg and Sting. And, well, the NWO in general is
NWO, 100%.
Just changed wrestling straight up. So, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Ric Flair at the 1992 Rumble.
Oh, fuck yeah,
dude! This still, like, I heard about this a million times before I actually watched it. The match is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Him winning every time at the end, it just feels like he isn't gonna win because of Hulk Hogan and Sid or whatever. But he does it.
Yeah.
And it is insane.
He does
the way in which he wins. The way, seeing how exhausted, how much he's one of the best at winning that belt.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He's the greatest world champion in history.
In history.
Yeah.
And I think this is the best win.
I mean, there's some, I'm sure there's some Jim Crockett live event that was better, you know?
Yeah, I bet a better match.
But this was just
feels insane.
Feels insane. Because it's like he finally gets this moment in the other company, you know?
Dude, yeah. Like he coming over, doing all the shit about being the real world champion, and then he fucking wins. He makes the Rumble important.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
The Rumble didn't lead to WrestleMania at this time. They didn't know what they were doing.
I mean, this was the only time where, there was one other time with the one where Triple H won.
Yep.
Where you could win and be world champion. And this was the first time. So it's cool that the only two guys who ever did that were Rick and Triple H. Of course.
Yeah. Of course. Hey, we're doing the world title again. What if
I did exactly what Rick did?
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think people would like it. But yeah, this makes the Royal Rumble an important thing, and I feel like this is what pushes it up past the Battle Royal concept. And the year after this, it leads to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right?
It's good shit, man.
It's good shit.
It's just good stuff. My number 6.
Yeah.
CM Punk Money in the Bank 2013.
Wow.
Over Cena. Or is that up there on yours?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's further up. Wait, you mean 2013
Or
or
was it
2011?
2011? Sorry, my bad.
2011.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the year.
It's
wrong.
literally also that is also
Is it?
Yeah, dude.
It says 2013.
No, mine says 2011, so
Okay.
that's why I was trying to. But literally, my number 6 is CM Punk
Oh.
Money in the Bank.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those things where your expectations are kind of blown out of the water because you know that they can't do this. You know that they can't have him win, but they're gonna do the match anyway, just so that we'll have a great match to watch. And then he fucking wins and runs out of the building. It's
fucking rule.
It's like it's a miracle that this quality of storytelling was able to be done at that time.
I honestly, this might, if I watched it live, it might be like number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how that feels, but I knew the whole story going into it, and but it's still unbelievable to watch. Yeah. It's still so cool. The loudest a crowd has ever sounded. Yeah. Maybe on video, at least
just perfection, just storytelling. And then this was Cena at in his prime. Just big match John was such a real thing. And people shit on him for like the 5 moves of doom or whatever, but like
he kicked ass.
The guy it was so good at having amazing main events, and we're gonna miss him when he's gone. And now he's kind of gone, and we miss him.
Dude. When I first started really watching wrestling, it was like right during like Cena versus AJ. And like he was putting over AJ and shit. And
dude,
like,
Cena was he was busting out crazy shit during those
yeah, everyone was like, this guy can't wrestle. I was like, that is this not wrestling?
I just watched him wrestle. I swear.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. He's like doing flips. What the fuck? I think we're all just mad about the silly shorts. I think you can't get over it.
For sure.
But he's unbelievable in this match. I mean, it's just the Vince booking, like he can't totally win clean. Which I didn't know about. I thought he just beat him clean. So first time watching it, I was like, okay, but it's still, I look past it immediately. But that moment, you watched this live, right? Like, had to have been unbelievable.
Yeah, it was electric.
Just the like 24 hours not knowing what is gonna happen.
It was the best.
It was the best.
It was an unbeatable era, but it was also like some of the worst shit you've ever seen all around it, So it was a miracle that this was good. And then it like kind of quickly wasn't, with like all the Kevin Nash stuff. It was super weird, but it doesn't take away from how good this moment was.
I mean, well, what the Pipe Bomb promo was 2 weeks before this, right? So that means the the promo happens, and then viewership had to have gone up so much that they were for the next Raw that they were like, "Fuck, we have to switch the title." Yeah, we have to switch the.
Well, they were just like, "We gotta go in on this Punk thing. We gotta embrace this. Let's do something different because he's different. Let's give it a shot."
I think I think Vince probably felt like backed into a corner, was like, all right, put the title on him, but not for too long.
Yeah, pretty much.
We gotta get.
But then it just turns into this amazing story by doing that. So
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. What's your? Oh, that's your number 6 as well.
That's also my number 6.
My number 5. Kofi Mania.
We're gonna have to wait to talk about this one. Okay. It's higher on my list.
What's your number 5?
China at No Mercy 99.
Is that the IC belt?
IC belt.
Yeah.
We didn't specify if it had to be world title.
No, that's fine. I almost put an IC one on here, but
I didn't. China, like me getting in through watching with the Nobodies and Drag, like China in the lore of my life is what like Hulk Hogan probably felt like children. You know what I mean? Like China is like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Not like she's the best. She's the icon. She's only got like 2 moves or whatever, but it doesn't fucking matter. She fucking rules.
I definitely watched this
Who I
live,
associate.
and I definitely remember as a kid, I was like 8 years old or something, thinking like, it's like sick that she's in this match, but she can't win because she's a girl, you know? In my mind, I was like, it sucks that she's a girl because then she can't win the belt, because that would be crazy if a girl won the belt and then she
Right.
won.
Yeah.
And then it's like this little thing that is not so little in the grand scheme, like changes the whole everything you know about wrestling when you're watching it as a child.
Totally.
And it's and much later you can realize kind of how special it was.
Well, like no one else has won a men's title.
No.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
Except for this time.
It's crazy.
I think she like won the title a second time, but this is the significant moment.
Yeah. She's a legend.
The woman winning the men's title. It's one of the stupidest match gimmicks of all time. And good, it's another like Jeff Jarrett. What got paid like $500,000 to drop the title to her, or whatever.
Of course,
good for him, king of the carnies. But this
still going,
still
carning,
bag chasing, carning and bag chasing. Unbelievable stuff. But this absolutely is one. This is one of the most insane feeling title wins.
Yeah,
it fucking rules. I don't know. Let women wrestle more dudes. Come on. You tell me that like Rhea Ripley can't beat nobody up? Get the fuck out of here.
I think they're establishing that she can, and it's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
Like she power slammed Gallows.
Let her win. She can't win the U.S. title.
I know.
Fuck out of here.
I agree.
Let her do it.
All right, my number 4.
Yeah.
Bayley Sasha won. Just after following the whole NXT run for Bayley and just wanting this so bad for her, you know, she was the female Sami's, like they were each other's kind of counterparts, her and Sami Zayn, where they were the fan favorites and they just couldn't become champions. Sami finally had his moment and it was shit on by Kevin Owens in the best way.
Yeah.
Bayley finally had her moment and it just felt that much more satisfying.
Yeah.
I think it's the best storytelling that NXT ever did.
Yep. Probably. I didn't watch it live. I've only ever watched it with my friend like literally crying and screaming during the actual match, showing it to me like, can you believe this? And I'm like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it rocks. It's amazing.
it was another thing where it's like a 2-year build to this, where
so good.
All the women just kept rising to the top, while Bayley was like, yeah, I'm hugging, and I love plastic men who flail.
Yeah,
but you couldn't help but love her and want this for her until she was at the top, and it was so satisfying.
It's so satisfying. It's like there's a reason it's still to this day everyone's like, this is the best women's wrestling match ever.
Yeah.
Not because of like it's because it's one of the best WWE matches of all time.
Straight up. Agreed.
Straight up. It's so fucking good.
Agreed.
It really rocks.
What's your number 4?
My number 4, I'm assuming I might have to wait. I might have to wait till later to talk about it, but Kenny at Dominion 2017.
That's my number 3.
Shit.
We're perfect. We're so our periods are in sync. You know, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Love when the ant flow comes at the same time.
Yeah, it's like to this day, it sucks that it was Dominion. Why couldn't you let him have it at Wrestle Kingdom? Just, I don't know. But yeah, this was like another thing that was years in the making. He failed twice. Was this the 3rd attempt?
This is the 3rd title attempt I thought but he beat him at the G1.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, if he hits the move, he can beat him. I believe, was this also 2 out of 3 falls, or was it just long as shit?
I think it was just like long as fuck.
Yeah,
it was a borderline full hour.
Borderline a full hour. It absolutely rocked. The fact that they kept having the best match
every time.
Like every time. Yeah. Dominion 1 is still my favorite.
Yeah. Dominion 1?
The draw. The draw is still my favorite of the matches. But this was so fucking satisfying.
I mean, it just goes to show that every time they wrestled each other, tens of thousands of new people subscribed to New Japan World, you know?
Insane.
And
I did. Yeah. And I didn't have the WWE network.
Right.
I'm brand new. I'm a year into watching wrestling. Yeah. And I'm in.
And it was can't miss. It was can't miss to anybody who even peripherally liked wrestling at the time. And it's just because the matches were the best match ever every time.
Every time. I still think that I haven't rewatched them in a while, but like they're probably still all three
for sure
the best matches of all time.
Ever. Yeah, I agree.
Which is so crazy.
You're right. So that was my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I feel like this is going to be a controversial pick for a Daniel Bryan title win. But I think the title win, his best title win is SummerSlam 2013.
I was there.
You were there?
I was there.
Beating Cena clean.
I was there. And it was
in a fucking
it was unbelievable.
Banger.
But then the post-match shenanigans were so heartbreaking.
It's hard. It's absolutely overshadows the match. Everything.
But then like that started the story that led to the B+ player stuff that led to WrestleMania. So yeah, it ended fine, but that ending, the place deflated when that happened. But yeah, that was like at that time I was like, well, this is the best match I've ever seen live for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't see it live, so I'm only watching it. I watched like this and then WrestleMania 30 at like kind of back to back to like see the whole story. And this is the better match.
100%.
This is the better match. I feel like beating Cena clean. There are no shenanigans. He just fucking beats him.
He rocks him with that knee, dude.
But for the first time, that as the finish,
and it looked so gnarly that to the live crowd, it was like, oh, when he hit the knee, and nobody had ever seen it in the context of Bryan, and it was like everybody around me knew it was like that has to be it. He just beat him because that looked insane, and then he did.
That's so fucking wild.
It was unbelievable.
I feel like. And it counts as a title win.
Yeah, it does.
It counts as a title win. He got a little bit of a celebration.
I think that's a great pick.
They fucked it up, but that win, unbelievable.
Agreed.
It's not number 1 because of the shenanigans.
Yeah, that's a good call. My number 2. I feel like my number 2 is either your number 2 or your number 1. Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar.
That's my number 2.
Okay. Just goated, dude.
Dude, it like this is the most this is the most emotional I've ever seen a crowd about a title win. This felt insane. It was fucking insane.
Yeah, it was perfect because it wasn't like they did anything that didn't make sense in the story of Eddie and in the story of Brock. Like Brock didn't look weak losing, you know.
And you also just you don't think they're gonna do it. It's a
No.
B pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly.
No one thought he was gonna win.
And those are the best moments when you think it can't happen. And it's like the guy who's been told he's not the guy the whole time, the guy who's opening every Nitro, the guy who when he wins the world title, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall say like, okay, well the wrestling business is dead now that Eddie Guerrero was world champion. When in reality, this is, it don't get much better than this here.
It gets one better than it.
It gets one better,
but only for me as an individual. Maybe not as an actual moment. Maybe this is the best one.
I've got one better, but
here's my number one is purely subjective because it's just of the moment. It was the way I was watching it.
Yeah.
But this is the first, like, Eddie is the template.
Yeah.
We don't get any, this is the first big, like, WWE moment like this where the Vince let a guy the size of Eddie beat
in a while. Yeah. This is the first time in a while where the right guy got his moment. And it was very special.
It was special stuff.
Only to be topped by one thing, but you tell me yours first.
Okay, I'll get, because you mentioned it earlier.
I did.
It's Kofi at Mania 35.
Of course.
This was me I hadn't seen Eddie Guerrero at the match yet. So this is me. I hadn't even seen the Daniel Bryan stuff. I missed it. So this is the first time I'm watching one of these stories, like a defying Vince title win happen in real time. And
like a miraculous way too, because you could tell none of it was planned.
None of it was planned. Daniel Bryan like pushed it through too. He was like, this is the guy I'm losing to.
Yeah.
Which means so much more coming from him going through such a similar story. In real life, like backstage and on screen. It was unbelievable. It felt, we all knew he had to win, but you're always scared that Vince doesn't know.
Because a lot of the time he doesn't.
He doesn't fucking know.
Yeah.
He didn't know, like, he's like, well, he doesn't have to. He does.
This was just another one of those perfect things where the timing was unbelievable. It happening in the first place was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The match was very good.
So good.
They ended up being super compatible with each other. The finish was awesome.
Good ass finish. The way like I was watching at like a viewing party at a bar in Brooklyn, thrown by my like friends. It felt like a culmination. Like we kind of stopped doing the nobody's watching wrestling kind of ended after this. But it felt like a very satisfying ending to like a thing that I had worked on for a while.
Sure.
To watching so much miserable WWE content it was one of the worst years of wrestling ever, but this is how it ended. And it like, felt really special.
And obviously culturally was so significant too. Like that, the video of MVP and Shad just hugging, crying, watching it.
Unbelievable.
Now that Shad Gaspard has passed is like this timeless relic of the moment. This beautiful memory that like MVP posted about, like, I was pissed the first time I saw that video. Because he was like, I'm just trying to share a moment with my friend. And now he's like, I'm so thankful that this exists. It's like one of the best memories I could possibly have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a perfect moment in wrestling. Only beaten by one thing to me, and it's purely personal.
Right.
Controversial.
Go for it.
Chris Benoit, WrestleMania 20. And I'm just like, Benoit was my guy, you know?
Dude, he was the guy for a lot, like, we're watching characters.
Yeah.
on screen. And like at the time, it can't change how that moment
No.
felt for young Colin.
No. And like I wanted to be a technical wrestler when I was a kid. And finding out what technical wrestling was like, okay, well there was Ric Flair and these other guys doing submissions and stuff, but now we have Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko. Like these are my these are my guys. So Benoit going over to WWE with the Radicals and whatnot, and kind of slowly working his way up the ranks. A lot of the time, it felt like they're never going to let him be the guy. It was a very Daniel Bryan-esque story.
Totally.
And just
it's
like
so much so that they were scared to let it be a singles.
Exactly.
They made it a fucking triple threat.
The same situation, you know?
Which is the one, like, this would be the other Rumble success story if fucking Vince let it be a goddamn singles match.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
It still rocks.
Yeah,
it's better. Honestly, the Shawn and Triple H like side plot makes a lot of stuff more exciting.
It's really good. And
so good.
And what we're talking about SummerSlam, where the post-match shenanigans ruin the moment.
Yeah.
The post-match in this is him hugging his best friend, who's the other world champion, with confetti going off.
So good.
And 70,000 people on their feet. It's perfection.
It's perfect. It's
perfect.
It sucks that you look at that it's seen with this, cloud of tragedy behind it and stuff. But I watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode about this. It gave me a motherfucking panic attack. But the moment with his son and Chris Jericho bringing his son together with like his aunt or stepmom or something or whatever, like bringing these family members together and trying to, the way the context of how he chooses to view
Jericho's perspective on it is very respectable, I would say.
It's respectable, and also so is his son's view. I feel like his son has a genuinely healthy view of how to look at his dad as someone who got sick and did a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But, I feel like with that context, you can still compartmentalize and, take this moment. This is one of the things that this is a moment I think that you can separate from the art, from the artist.
The moment is the moment.
The moment is the moment.
Despite any other circumstance. And that's those are our lists. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next Tuesday. And we're going to be together all week.
All week? Ah, my boy. And you know what? Maybe we'll have like the reason we did this list is because maybe after Saturday we will have someone else for a top 10 title win. Maybe there will be another one at this show.
That's right. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Can't wait. We're gonna have some good stuff for you after this weekend. All right. Bye.